Imagine this.
He's tough.
A
Finish
homeless
him.
man, living in a broken shed with his 8-year-old son, freezing, hungry, no hope left. Then he hears a scream in the night. 5 men are about to hurt a young woman. He has nothing. No weapon. No chance. But he runs anyway. What happens next will shock you. He throws himself between them and her, takes every punch, every kick, refuses to move. He's bleeding on the ground when the roar of engines explodes. Hell's angels flood the street. The girl he just saved? Their leader's daughter. You won't believe what they do for him. The night was cold enough to make breathing hurt. Caleb Morgan crouched outside the old farm shed, pulling the tarp tighter over the broken doorway. Inside, wrapped in every blanket they owned, his son Noah slept. 8 years old, small for his age, always cold. Caleb tucked the corners down, making sure the wind wouldn't get through. His hands shook, not from the cold, but from hunger. They'd eaten yesterday. Maybe they'd eat tomorrow. He stood up slowly, knees stiff, and looked down the empty road. Nothing moved, just wind and dust. That's when he heard it. A scream, sharp, terrified. A woman's voice cutting through the night. Caleb froze. His first instinct? Stay still. Don't get involved. That's how you survive on the streets. But then he heard it again. Help, please! Her voice broke. Caleb turned toward the sound. A block away, under a dying street lamp, he saw her. A young woman in a black leather jacket. 5 men circled her, closing in like wolves. She backed toward a chain-link fence. Nowhere to run. Caleb's chest tightened. He thought of Noah inside the shed, warm, safe, asleep. Then he looked at her again. She was someone's child. That thought hit him harder than the cold ever could. He didn't think. He ran. His boots pounded against the cracked pavement. His breath came fast and shallow. He had no plan, no weapon, no idea what he was doing. The men didn't see him coming until he was already there. Leave her alone! Caleb yelled, stepping between them and the woman. The men turned. One of them laughed. Who the hell are you? Caleb raised his hands, palms out. Just leave her, please. The biggest one stepped forward. Walk away, old man. I can't do that. The woman behind him was trembling. He could hear her breathing fast and panicked. The man shoved Caleb hard. He stumbled, but stayed on his feet. I said walk away? Caleb shook his head. She's somebody's daughter. The man's face twisted. Wrong answer. The first hit came fast, a fist to his ribs. Caleb doubled over, gasping. Another punch caught his jaw. He tasted copper. He fell to his knees. Behind him, the woman screamed. Caleb grabbed her wrist and pulled her toward the ditch. Run! He whispered. But she was frozen. One of the men kicked him in the side. Pain exploded through his chest. He curled around it, trying to protect his ribs, but he didn't let go of her hand. Run! He said again, louder this time. She stumbled forward. He dragged himself up, shielding her with his body. The men closed in again. Another shove, another hit. Caleb hit the ground hard this time, face first in the dirt. He couldn't breathe, couldn't move. But he could hear her crying above him. He tried to push himself up. His arms gave out. Then the sound. Low at first, distant, then louder. Engines, deep, rumbling, getting closer. The ground started to vibrate. Headlights cut through the darkness like floodlights, bright, blinding. The roar of motorcycles exploded into the street. Caleb looked up, squinting through the dust and light. Black leather jackets, chrome gleaming. A wall of bikes skidding to a stop in a half-circle around them. The Hells Angels had arrived. The men who'd been surrounding the woman scattered like shadows, running in every direction. None of them looked back. A tall man with a gray beard jumped off his bike before it even stopped moving. His boots hit the pavement hard. He sprinted toward the woman. Samantha! His voice cracked with fear. The woman, Samantha, stumbled toward him, sobbing. He caught her in his arms and held her tight, one hand on the back of her head. I'm here, I'm here. You're okay. She was shaking violently. Dad? Her voice was barely a whisper. Dad, he saved me. She pulled back just enough to point down at Caleb, still collapsed in the dirt. The man, Raymond Olay, looked down. For a long moment he just stared. Caleb tried to sit up, failed. His vision blurred. Pain radiated through his ribs with every breath. Raymond knelt beside him slowly. His face was hard to read. Shock, confusion, maybe something else. Who are you? Raymond asked quietly. Caleb coughed, tasted blood. Nobody. Nobody doesn't throw himself in front of 5 men. Caleb blinked, trying to focus. She's somebody's child. Raymond went very still. Behind him, more bikers had gathered, 10, 15, all watching in silence. One of them stepped forward, a woman with short dark hair and a leather vest. He's hurt bad, Ray. Raymond nodded without looking away from Caleb. Get him up carefully. 2 bikers moved forward and lifted Caleb by the arms. His legs barely held him. Everything hurt. Samantha was still crying, clutching her father's jacket. They were going to. I know, Raymond said gently. I know. But you're safe now. He looked at Caleb again, really looked at him this time. The torn jacket, the dirt-stained jeans, the shoes held together with duct tape. You live on the streets. Caleb nodded weakly. Alone? Caleb's eyes widened. My son! He tried to turn. Panic flooding his chest. Noah. He's in the shed. He's alone. I need. Raymond put a hand on his shoulder, firm but not rough. Where? Caleb pointed back toward the old farm shed, barely visible in the darkness. There, please. He's only 8. He'll wake up and I won't be. We'll get him, Raymond said. And we'll get you to a hospital. Caleb shook his head. No hospital. I can't afford. You're going. Raymond's voice left no room for argument. He turned to one of the bikers. Marcus, take 2 guys. Get the boy. Bring him to Mercy General. Marcus nodded and left immediately. Caleb tried to protest, but his knees buckled. The 2 bikers holding him caught him before he fell. Raymond looked at his daughter one more time, making sure she was okay. Then he looked back at Caleb. You threw yourself in front of 5 men to save someone you didn't even know. With nothing to protect you. No backup. No reason. Caleb's vision was fading. She's somebody's daughter. Raymond's jaw tightened. Yeah, she's mine. Those words hung in the cold air like smoke. Caleb's eyes started to close. His body was giving out. The adrenaline was gone. Only pain remained. The last thing he heard before everything went black was Raymond's voice, quieter now, but unshaken. Get him in the truck. Stay with him. And find out everything about this man. He didn't know this night would change everything he believed about survival. But keep watching, because what the bikers do next will restore your faith in humanity.